How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a familiar face with us again, and you may have seen him in another video, but you can say his name and, obviously what he does.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sam Sky, and I am a singer-songwriter that recently went solo. So, yeah, thank you for having me back. Super excited to be here. Big fan.
Awesome. Well, as you had mentioned, you've been on the channel before. Things have changed. You've gone the solo route. So how has that been? You have a new record coming out, I believe, tomorrow. How
Tonight,
as
tonight at midnight.
tonight at
Tonight at
midnight,
midnight.
but also tomorrow. But how has that been? How's the process, I guess, transferring from like being in a band? You had been in bands even before that, but like how's the transition between doing like solo work versus like I guess being in a band?
So the transition from a band to being a solo artist was not done out of maybe conventional like reasons that other people do it.
Hmm.
I literally went to be a solo artist based off of the sheer necessity of a not doing music is not an option,
I
right?
got you.
B B so I'm a father. I work anywhere between 40 to 60 hours a week to provide for my family,
Sure.
and so with that, when you're in a band and you've got five other people to worry about, and this person can't show up, and this person needs to do this, and this person can't provide the funds to do X, Y, and Z, it becomes a circus very quickly. So this was really the only viable option for me to still have a real shot at making this my sole career, right?
Yeah.
And where I know I could do things way more efficiently because it was just me to worry about. And then there's the whole artistic aspect of it, which would be my brain works 5 million miles per hour, and I'm constantly.
I
I
feel
literally
that.
wrote like 40 songs in the past year, and in a band, I would never be able to do that in a band in that time frame. I could write the songs, but I can't bring them to life, record them, and like hear
Yeah.
them on wax. You know what I mean? So that's my answer in a nutshell.
And I gotta respect that because I mean, I very much in the same boat. Me, I'm not a father, but I meant like just in the respect of like, I know how it is to like just grind it out when it's just one person. I'm the only one doing the audio addiction thing. So like, people find it nuts when it's just like, dude, like, how do you have time to answer emails? How do you have time to like set up stuff like this? How do you
Because
like
you make it a
you make it a
priority. That's how
priority and you want to do it and you love to do it and I feel like the reason why I wanted to have you back on was just because like I didn't know all the behind the scenes stuff of like you being a dad and like working. I assume obviously most people work and that's the only way to make money, but like I just seeing you post so much on like social media about like your new record and like stuff like that made me want to reach back out to you because it's I respect the grind even more so because like I feel like solo artists, as much as I feel like sometimes they get the shit end of the stick. I feel like they put in the most work, they put in the most drive because it's like it's just you. There's no one in between. In a
right.
band,
And
like when
there's
you're in a
there's
band,
no there's no place to pass the buck up. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And blame somebody else. It's either you're gonna make it happen or you're
yeah,
not gonna make it happen.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And obviously you have a new record, like we had mentioned before. You have a ton of features on it. So like, how was that process too? Just because like I feel like it's a completely different switch up. I've listened to like some of the songs that you've released so far, and I mean such a departure from like what you were doing prior to this, and I
Yeah.
like it because I feel like it's definitely definitely some more vibes and stuff like that. It's more like along the lines of like you have that Black Bear vinyl in the back. I see you got some John Mayer we were talking about earlier. So like you know I guess the first part of the question would be like how did you get all these features? Like what made you I guess go through those people and be like I want to have you on this track. I want to have you on this track. Like what's the process behind that? I guess.
That's a really, really great question.
Thank
So
you.
the feature thing is kind of a two-parter. So the first part of it is that When time is working against you, again, we were just talking about this tying into what we were saying before. So you have to find ways to make that one thing that you're doing have the most amount of impact
Yeah,
for the most amount of time. And with
gotcha.
people's attention spans being so little, you know what I mean? And everybody's on to the next one all the time, that I feel like features for an up and coming artist is the best way to make the biggest splash. And it says a lot about who you are as an artist as well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like all the features that are on my EP are all super genuine, and they all have a story behind them.
yeah,
So I got Monev Tip. Monev was my drummer for the longest time
tight.
in I Am King. So he's always been kind of a brother of mine. So I felt like it was just the right thing to do. When I heard that song after I wrote it, I was like, I got to get Monev for this. And then Vision is actually like I don't even know what they are. If they're a collective, if they're a band, whatever you call it. The dude's name is Caleb, and his one of his songs came up in my Discover Weekly,
Oh,
and the
tight.
song was great. And I vibed with it big time. I love the way it sounded, and I felt like it resonated with me. And I feel like a big part of social media is you have to be social. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
absolutely. I got you.
So many people interact in a very shallow way. I try to reach out and have as many genuine interactions as possible. So I just shot him a message, not knowing who he was, and I was just like, "Hey man, just want you to know you popped up on my Discover Weekly. I really like what you're doing. Just keep going. Don't stop whatever you're doing." And he actually messaged me back and was really open. A lot of people are want to be hot shots. Like
I got you.
I got over my ego a long time ago. A lot of people want to be hot shots, and they'll be like, "Thanks, super appreciate it."
Yeah,
Little, you know what
man.
I mean? And that's it. But he was like, "Hey, man, like I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. I went and I checked out your music, and it floored me. Like I wasn't expecting that at all. How long you been doing?" And it kind of grew into this
The
genuine
conversation.
interaction. So he actually ended up um, mixing and mastering some of the
Oh,
songs
tight.
after that.
That is sick.
And then I found out that he's a father as well, and he's grinding and just working crazy hours. So I just hit it off with him right
Oh,
away,
absolutely.
and I was like, "You definitely have to feature on my YouTube for sure." So we got that one on there, and then XOF is Mitch was my old producer. He produced a lot of the stuff for Vicious when
Tight.
I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
doing that company.
And he's also in
So
Varials.
he's also in Varials, killing it, by the way.
Yes.
Super proud of him. The dude's out there making that metalcore money. I'm all about it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, dude. As much like, then that was the reason why, again, I reached out to you for collaboration because I've always felt like, even the last one we did with Vicious, I was like, I wonder what he's doing, man. Like, I know he's definitely still doing music because, like, I was like, I know he is. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that I was just like, let me just hit him in the DMs on Graham. And just because, like, I was just like, when you had started getting like the new songs and stuff like in the works, I was like, I gotta hit him up, man. Like we gotta redo something. I was just like, maybe he doesn't like me or whatever. I was like, I gotta DM him back and just see, what's going on. So I was like, let me just see. Even if he was like, nah, I was just like, respect the game. Gotta show him that love, even if it isn't like, well, even if it's one sided. I was like, I gotta show that respect.
It's definitely reciprocated.
Thank
Huge
you.
fan of your work. Love the hustle, bro. And I think it's great that we have this rapport going. I'm very, very appreciative of it.
There we go. Well, speaking of another hustle, I don't typically get people that also do the music. They are a dad, they work full time, and they do their own like clothing line. So I guess like what was the thought behind that? Yeah, there you go. Havoc threads, get it. Um
And after this, you need to send me your address so we can ship you some merch after
Bless,
this for sure.
bless. Oh, Sam's the best. Shouts to him. But like, how is I guess how's that process? And do you kind of take a similar mindset to doing like the clothing thing as you do to like doing the music thing? Because I imagine that's something obviously you're probably equally as passionate about as well. So like, I guess you can draw parallels to that, right?
Yeah, I think my mindset has always been, whether it was in a band or solo music or whatever it is I'm doing, it's fairly business oriented.
I got you.
So doing a clothing line is both business and it can be artistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's something that I've really always wanted to do. At some point, when you're working 60 hours and you've slept a total of 4 hours in 3 days, and
Know
you've got
that.
a kid, and you're you know what I mean, really busting your ass, you kind of realize that you can't do it all. So, as much as I love the clothing line, and I'm going to keep doing the clothing line, it's nice to have something that is there's no like timeline in my head versus
Hmm.
music. I'm like, I need this done, I
Gotta
need this
keep
done, I
doing
need
it.
this done. And I really think that Havoc Threads is going to be something that's super genuine and organic. And if it takes 10 years to get to that place, first of all, let me back up here. I don't do anything just for fun. Like Havoc Threads is definitely going to be like
I got you.
something going to be successful, but I'm okay with it having a long timeline horizon for that to kind of come to fruition. If that
It's
makes
a
any sense.
long-term potential, you know what I mean? I got you, because
Yeah,
that's what
I'm
I'm
not.
doing
I'm
with
not
this.
stressing it.
So I got you. You know, I expect the business aspect to it because, again, much like of what I do here is like, business related, and I will DM you your address, and I'll have to send you some audio addiction stuff. So then we can be collab buddies.
This is what you would call good business, my friend.
It is, my
Absolutely.
guys. And you should check the links in the description and check out both of our merches because you figure might as well we're talking about it now. So, gotta get it going. But Sam, getting back to more of the music related stuff, who do you feel like you draw from musically now? I mean, obviously I feel like the changes don't really, you know, I guess change over time, but like obviously your music styling has changed, sometimes since we talked in Vicious. So like, who do you draw from now? Who's like your main inspiration? What are the go tos now?
I mean, so there's always like the foundational
Yeah,
inspirations that never change. You know what I mean? Like I could go 2 years without listening to a Linkin Park song, and then one day I'm listening to Linkin Park for the next 9 months.
I
You know what
got
I
you.
mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like a best friend that you haven't seen in a long time, and you pick up right where you left off. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
um, those those foundational inspirations, yeah, really haven't changed. And I've always loved pop music and songwriting and all different kinds of music. And I think that that's what gives me um, kind of a nuance, is that what I'm doing is genuine. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
nothing about me going solo is disingenuous. Nothing about the music I'm making is disingenuous or trying too hard. Um, and I think it's because I just have that genuine love for music. But I think that, yeah, Black Bear is definitely an influence. Obviously, I'm just talking about like the more recent
yeah,
ones
yeah,
for me, and that kind of pop sensibility. Um, for sure, Marky Basie's huge. Kyle, Super Duper Kyle is awesome.
yeah,
Definitely super inspiring. Um, John Mayer continues to put out music that I hugely am all about. Um, I'm sure there's a million more that I'm forgetting. And then even like there's in some of my songs there tends to be like a darker undertone, and that's definitely Chester Bennington.
yeah.
Like all day, all day. So yeah, those would be some of my bigger influences.
There we go. Awesome, awesome. Well, as we've been mentioning a lot, you have a new record coming out. I mean, obviously all of your tracks you love, but what is one that you just had like a really great time recording and just like working out and like, I guess like, from, the ground level starting on it to like the finished product, which one's your baby? Like, which one do you hold the most dear, I guess?
Oh, that's a good question. I really, I think emo night, which is just it's honestly it's an intro track. It's about a minute and 30 seconds. Like
Hmm.
it's super short. But I love the vibe of that. I think it's just a super great way to start off the EP. And honestly, that song, because like it's like a very emotional song. That's the emo night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of a double entendre there, and little Mayday parade reference in the name. It's 6 cheers for 10 years is what I named it. Um, and then it goes immediately from that into a song called "Talking Shit," which is just like a good time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
given it's like the topic of it is not common, you know what I mean? I'm literally just talking shit on other people, other singers, and particularly some stupid motherfuckers from the scene that I've been from. I think they're hot shit, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, I think emo night and then disconnected are my
Ooh.
top two. Disconnected has just like a whole vibe. I feel like I would put disconnected on if it was like 2 in the morning and I'm like driving down, alone or something like that. It kind of has that vibe, that late night vibe, and I'm all about it. And the message is serious, and the message is meaningful, and it's done in a smart enough way that it's easy to listen to.
Yeah, no, I felt like I said, the tracks that I was listening to that you've released so far, I've really just like I've been getting into more of that like Black Bear. I've always liked Black Bear, but I feel like, that resurgence of stuff like Joe G, Rich Brian, those sorts of
Yeah,
artists, like those are ones that I'm like really heavily getting into and stuff like that. So I felt like you're channeling those sorts of artists, and I was just like, it would just add Sam right into the mix here and just have
bring them in the mix.
bring him in
Put
the
them
mix,
right in
just
there.
put him right in there. So I was stoked, to kind of check them out, and here obviously the one that's most familiar to me in terms of the features was Mitchell from Varials. Like I felt like, it's so different to hear him because I'm out to Philly. I'm pretty close to Philly, and I've seen them, countless times. Um, but it's so different to see him do something like that versus like what he really does, making that
Yeah,
metalcore
yeah,
money. So it was very cool.
for
And I think
sure.
that took me by surprise as like a listener. But um, keeping with the more relative questions, who have you been jamming recently? You mentioned Discover Weekly, so like what's been popping that you've been really enjoying?
All right. Well, I happen to have my computer right in
There you
front of
go.
me,
Look
so
at that.
I'm going to pull this up so I can accurately see
I like
what
it.
I'm
The cheat
listening to.
sheets, the cheat codes, my dude.
Yeah, bro. Can't leave with that. Definitely, yeah, Marky Basie for sure. Third Eye Blind has a new record that I've been listening
Ooh, okay.
to. Um, dun, 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 dun. I always bump my friends like Luya and P Wavy, people that kind of helped me get connected with the producer that I work with now. Really, really sick artists. If you haven't listened to Luya or P Wavy, check them out immediately. There's this group called Loot that's really sick. The Death Stranding record,
Oh yeah.
like the music from Death Stranding, is just been bumping that a lot. A little bit of Russ. There's an artist from San Antonio. Her name is Angel Cintron, so I've been bumping her. Bozzy, Mike Posner. Love new Mike
Oh,
Posner.
oh
Love,
yeah.
love his keep going and his positive vibes that he's been throwing out there lately. The Neighborhood.
Nice, yeah.
I still bump Emerosa, even new Emerosa.
Oof. There you go.
Still, I bump new Johnny Craig. Shout out to
Ooh,
JC.
ooh.
I see you still. Yeah, I think it's good. Oh, and Julia Michaels. I've been bumping a lot of Julia
Ooh,
Michaels.
okay, okay, okay. I
I think she's a
got you. There
great
we go.
singer and songwriter. So
Russ, I have to say, you're the only other person that I know that has recommended them, and I've been following Russ for like a hot minute. So I'm glad you respect the game. He is awesome, super hella underrated. So shouts to Russ. If you somehow watch this, like, do a collab with him because that'd be tight, and also come on because that would be also sick, and I'd be solely down to have you on. But yeah, he is awesome. So Russ, shouts to Russ.
yeah, I
Um,
feel like I have this weird. But first of all, I think that everybody has this same relationship with him. I have this weird love hate relationship with him. Sometimes when I listen to him talk, I'm like Russ. You need to calm down, bro. You need to step on the brakes, take a step back. We know you're rich, you're cool, you got little curly hair. I see you, bro. Calm down. But his music is tight, and
Yeah,
he's real smart. He's obviously very business savvy, and that was one of the things that turned me on to him originally, is that he was rapping about some. It wasn't some dummy stuff. Like, it was some real stuff.
yeah.
And, I remember he was talking shit on the government for taxing him and his business. And I was like, yeah,
Tell him.
yeah,
Tell him.
stick it to the man,
You got
Russ.
it. You got it. I remember listening to him. I think it was like um I was listening to like Dumbfounded. I don't know if you're familiar with his work or not. Um
Mhm.
but he was like up around that time. And then I think he was under a different name before Russ. Um I think if I'm not mistaken, if not I'll correct myself in post, but I'm almost positive it was like D Pride was was his original name, and then he
Oh,
like
really?
completely changed gears, and then he went with
He
Russ,
went
which
with
is his real name.
himself. He went
Yeah,
with himself.
he went with himself. So shouts to Russ. So I've been a fan for a hot minute, so I'm glad you gave him that love. But continuing on with the musical related questions, if there was one album that you wished that you wrote, what album would it
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. Um, oh dang, 8701 by Usher.
Oh, wow, that's a classic. I love that. That's
Either
a
that
throwback.
or Ixnay on the Hombre by The Offspring right here. Boom.
There we go. There we go. Awesome. Sam's on the joint. He got it. But the next thing, Sam, obviously you've been in bands, but if you could compile a musical supergroup, who would be in your band? Who would be jiving with?
Definitely. Mark Hoppus, Travis Barker. I would just take them both from the same band. I don't
Okay.
care.
Blink.
And then
Got it.
John Mayer.
Ooh, that
That's
would be
it.
your band and you'd be fronting it?
Done. And then and maybe Mike Shinoda would be in the mix too. And then that would be it.
That'd be tight. See about that. How can we make
And
this happen?
with some guest vocals from what's his name? Man, I suck. Singer of Coldplay, Chris something. He can
Chris,
stop by too.
yeah, man, now you're gonna kill me because now I should know it too, but we'll post it. You know, we got it in post.
Chris Martin.
Brandon,
Chris
Chris
Martin.
Martin.
Chris
There you go.
Martin. Got it.
I was gonna say Chris Pine and look like a real dumbass, but I didn't. So I'm glad I didn't say that. But my next thing, Sam, do you have any guilty pleasure bands? I know a lot of people are a little bit hesitant to say something like that. I feel like
Oh hell yeah.
music shouldn't be a guilty thing, but
No,
sometimes
definitely.
sometimes that happen to be, you know.
So Black Bear is a guilty pleasure artist. Sometimes I'm like, bro, and like it's just so extra, and he's so stupid sometimes. I like, yeah, it's definitely a guilty pleasure. But like I said, I'm just like whatever. It is what it is. He's a great songwriter, and his hooks, like he's the king of hooks. You know what I'm
He
saying? He'll
is
just slap you in the face with hooks all day.
that hot girl summer
Um,
track. Whew.
yeah, exactly. Like it's undeniable. You know what I'm saying? Like you might as well just hop on. Guilty pleasure, Nothing Nowhere. I feel like that's like
Ooh, okay, yeah, no, he's tight.
a hype beast kind of emo artist. And I almost want to be like, bro, you're not real emo, like. But yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff with a bunch of really cool artists. Guilty pleasure, MGK.
Wow, all right.
That's probably one of my number one. There you go. My
Yeah,
number one guilty pleasure
there we
is
go. There we
MGK.
go. So, how do you feel on the Eminem MGK stance then? What team are you on? Are you on the MG? I know it's an old news thing, but I figure we talk about it, you know?
I don't care. I don't care at all. They both just need to get over it, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, we all know Sam's guy is taking the lead, so it doesn't matter. He's gonna come out with the bar, so that's all you
Don't
need to
forget
know.
it. Don't forget it.
There we go. And then obviously the last thing, Sam, the most important thing, you know, tell them about you, where they can find you out on the social medias, and anything coming up in the next couple months, and just let the people know.
So I'm working on finally getting some shows together, my first solo artist shows. So hopefully I'll have more news on that in the next couple months. It's still up in the air, but I'm working on it. Um, I, I've recorded stuff and I have stuff locked and loaded to release well into the new year. So be looking for lots of music from me, lots of content, lots of interaction. But October Forever is my first solo EP, so it's very important to me. And I'm to say that literally 5 years ago, I was homeless and basically had nothing at that point, and had my daughter, and was building things up from the ground up with nothing to be able to still make music, not just a part of my life, like a thing that I do on the side, but like a main focus that
Yeah.
I aim to be successful on. That I'm releasing this EP. I'm just incredibly proud of it. Shout out to Dakin and Luya, because this wouldn't have happened without them. You guys are my dudes. Shout out to Caleb Rodriguez. You're the homie. You're a new homie, but you're still the homie, my dude. But everybody can find me on social media, just at Sam Sky Official. It's the same across every platform. You won't find me on Snapchat because I think that shit's stupid, but you'll find me everywhere else.
Awesome. Well, as you know, Audio Addiction respects the game, so I gotta show the major love to Sam. He's been on and off on the channel for like the past couple years, so you know it's cool to see
Right.
him branch out and do that thing as that solo record. Um, go check it out. It's out now. You know you want to go listen to it. The features are tight. I'm really excited to fully dive into it, listen to it. You know, hit him with that slick review. You know what I'm saying? Um,
That's right.
but
I'll be
definitely,
looking for that. I'll be looking for that.
hey, listen, man, gotta show the fam some love. So please go check out Sam's stuff. Links are in the description. Go check out his merch. It's really tight. I'll leave a link in there description for that as well. Pick up something. Tell him you said what's good. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. I don't see a man grinding harder on that social media than this dude, and he has other things that he's got going on in life. So, you know, respect the game. Got to show him that love. And thanks, of course, Sam, for coming on and taking the time out of your hectic schedule, my dude.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me. You're a legend. Let's definitely keep in touch, and I'm looking forward to both of our success in the future, okay?
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, of course. If you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.